Manatee. Manatees are mammals, just like whales, dolphins, and you. They spend their entire lives in water, but like all mammals, they must go to the surface to breathe. Can you believe that a long time ago, sailors mistook cute, chubby, gray manatees for beautiful mermaids? These gentle, slow-moving creatures live in shallow, warm waters, where they graze on sea grasses, water weeds, and algae. These animals are about as long and as heavy as a small car. To get that way, they must eat 1 pound of food for every 10 pounds of body weight. That would be like you eating about 5 or 6 pounds of salad every day. Manatees live in the coastal waters of the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, and in some of the warm rivers that feed into them. They are also found in the rivers of tropical Africa. Octopus. Octopuses are some of the most intelligent animals in the ocean. They can get to food that is inside a jar with the lid screwed on. One of the special things about them is that not only can they change the color of their skin, but they can also change the texture of it to blend in with their surroundings. They can look like a piece of seaweed or a bit of coral if they choose to. This is called posturing. Sometimes different colors mean different things to an octopus. When they turn white, it usually means they are frightened, while red means they are angry. An octopus can also squirt dark-colored ink into the water, which is used to confuse predators so the octopus can escape undetected. An octopus mother dies shortly after her eggs hatch. Octopuses can be found in oceans all over the world. Orca. Also known as the killer whale, the orca is actually the largest member of the dolphin family. Its killer nickname was given because orcas have been known to eat other whales, as well as seals, sea lions, fish, and walrus. They never eat people, though. Once an orca almost ate a surfer, but spit him out when he realized its mistake. Orcas have only one baby at a time, called a calf. The calf drinks its mother's milk just like a human baby. They can live as long as people and stay in the same pod with their mothers for most of their lives. Orcas can be found in oceans all over the world. Pod. A pod is the name given to a group of animals that live and stay together as a very large family. There are many advantages to living in a pod. For example, animals that live within a pod may help one another with caring for their young, hunting, and may even play with one another. Most whales, dolphins, and seals are known to live in pods. A sea anemone. Sea anemones look like colorful underwater flowers, but they are actually animals. Their many long, leaf-like tentacles are capable of stinging and are used by the anemones to stun and catch their prey. Seahorse. Seahorses are fish, but they do not swim very well, so they tend to spend most of their time with their tails wrapped tightly around seagrass or seaweed to keep them anchored. The father seahorse is responsible for hatching the young. The mother deposits her eggs into the father's pouch, similar to the pouch of a kangaroo. The eggs are then protected within the pouch for a few weeks, and when they're ready, the father delivers the newborn seahorses. Seahorses live in the shallow, grassy waters of oceans worldwide. Sea otter. The sea otter is a mammal that spends a lot of time in the ocean. A mother has only one pup at a time, and even it is born out at sea. They spend much of their time in the kelp forests, where they dive for clams, sea urchins, abalone, and octopuses. When they get a clam or other animal inside a shell, they float on their backs and break their dinner open with a rock they brought up from the bottom. When napping, they grab some kelp and roll over until they are all wrapped up. That way they won't float away. Sea otters live along some coastal waters of the Pacific Ocean. Sea turtle. Some sea turtles grow to be really big, bigger than a really big man. As soon as they hatch in a nest on a sandy beach, they scramble for the water, trying to avoid crabs, seabirds, and other animals that would like nothing better than to have a baby sea turtle for lunch. They live by themselves and swim all over the ocean for about 20 years. Then they return to the very beach where they were hatched, and the female crawls up onto the beach. Then they dig a hole in the sand and lay their eggs. The cycle starts all over again. Sea turtles live in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Sea urchin. Sea urchins are round-shaped, spiny ocean animals that use tiny tube-like feet to move around the ocean and grab their food. Even with all those little spikes for protection, the sea urchin is still considered tasty by many ocean animals. Many people think that sea urchins are delicious too, but the authors are not among them. Tide pool. Tide pools are created near rocky shorelines. As the tide lowers and goes out to sea, it leaves behind little pools of calm water trapped in the rocky crevices called tide pools. The tide pools are wonderful places to explore a sampling of ocean life. You may find sea urchins, anemones, crabs, and even fish. But tide pools are an important habitat for many animals, and they can be easily damaged. If you have the opportunity to visit a tide pool, be sure to explore kindly and carefully, and never take the plants or animals you find home with you. Tiger shark. Tiger sharks can grow to be 18 feet long. That's about 3 times longer than a grown man is tall. These animals eat everything, and they are always hungry. They have been known to eat fish, other sharks, turtles, dolphins, tin cans, garbage, and even people. You can see why they don't make good pets. Tiger sharks can be found in oceans all over the world. Vertebrae. This is the word scientists use to talk about animals with a backbone. Lots of animals have backbones. Dogs and cats have backbones. Even you have a backbone. Can you find all the animals in this book that have backbones? Somewhere in the ocean. Somewhere in the ocean where the warm waters run, lived a mother manatee and her little calf one. Nibble, said the mother, I nibble, said the one. So they nibbled sea lettuce where the warm waters run.